This is a BMW 323i 2013 for sale at an auction. We are going to go through the smart chart just to make sure we don't forget to check for anything. When you're buying a car, you need to check the exterior condition, the engine condition, the interior condition. If it's possible, make a test drive and finally check the mileage. So first of all, the paint job. You're looking for inconsistency in the paint job. Panels that seems to be lighter or stronger in color than the rest of the car. Luckily, there is a very accurate small cheap device called paint thickness gauge which measures how thick the paint is. Body condition. As always, this should be the most obvious part. When you're walking around the car, look for any dings, broken parts, scratches, rust, anything unusual. Now, all around this car, everything seems clean and neat. So far, at least. Wheels and tires. First of all, look and see if all four tires are the same make and model. Take a simple penny and insert it in between the tire tread. It will give you a rough estimation on how deep they are. Finally, check the rims for scratches, pothole damage, and faded paint. Headlamps and all lights. Check if the headlamps are becoming bluished and yellow. This is common with non-UV treated transparent plastic. With time and sunshine, they slowly degrade. This means either the car was sitting too long facing the sun, or the car has simply spent most of its life on the road. This is why sometimes yellow blurred headlamps can give you a rough estimation on the actual mileage. Sunroof. At this stage of the investigation, you simply want to verify that all windows are closed tight and properly. Engine. Now this car is equipped with a 2-liter 4-cylinder inline turbocharged BMW engine. So start it up and listen. Ideally, a cold start is the best way for checking an engine. If it's too rough, you know it's usually packing a good weight of mileage. Some say that BMW engines most of the time sounds rough on a cold start. Even here, there is that high mileage, unmaintained ticking kind of sound. My opinion is BMW engines are so sophisticated, but at the same time that makes them sensitive to good condition engine oil, which means if you're the kind of person that is always pushing the car more than what is reasonable, then make sure you change your oil on a more frequent rate. Exhaust gas color. Check the colored gas coming out of the exhaust. Is there any oil as well? Then take out the dipstick, check the oil level, and try to smell it. It will give you an idea on the oil condition. Good brand new oil should not be unpleasant to smell. Do the same thing with the transmission's dipstick, especially if the car is more than 7 years old and equipped with an automatic transmission. I simply know that by experience. The bad news is that recent cars like this one aren't coming with dipsticks anymore, so you can't smell anything. But you usually should still be able to access oil level by the inboard computer. Rusted engine parts. Check for rusted engine parts, usually when a car is not driven for a long amount of time, either because it has been into an accident waiting to be repaired, or because it's simply not being driven enough. Some parts, as well as engine parts, tend to accumulate surface rust, especially pulleys and disc brakes. Here, everything seems in good shape. Steering wheel, seats, and main condition. Look for any unusual wear and tear. On the steering wheel, seats, switches, any unusual condition could be caused by excessive use, which should indicate a relatively high mileage. For instance, in this case, as soon as you open the driver's door, you meet excessive dirty everything. Driver door, driver's seat, steering wheel, all is covered by dark, dusty dirt. I feel like this car was used as a mechanic's office.
I feel this car somehow is a crashed and repaired car because it's too dirty to be usual use for a 2013 BMW. This is more a car that spent a long time in a garage. See, even this plastic isn't fitted very well. I shouldn't be able to open it like this.
This right here indicates to me that this car has or may have spent much time in a dirty, cheap garage where the workers do not even care about clean clothes and obviously aren't bothered with how clean the interior of the car is when it leaves the garage. The first thing that crossed my mind was that this car must have been into an accident, later to be bought by a mechanic in order to be repaired and sold. But so far, this interior state do not necessarily mean the car was crashed and repaired. It's actually the seat belts that gave it away. Have you ever seen so much dirty seat belts?
That's the best example. The seat belt is way too dirty.
You may be not able to notice it on camera, but the state in which those seat belts are is unusual for a 2013 model.
Same thing with this one. You can see over there, this is all of this comes out when you need to change the airbag and it isn't fitted properly. So more and more, the more I'm looking at this car, the more I'm convinced this car was a crashed car and repaired.
You see, when a car gets into a crash, usually the seat belts automatically locks.
You can see here the airbag did go off. The side seat airbag, and as you can see, the seat belt is locked, which means this car will need to have new seat belt, new electronic system airbag. Everything needs to be changed. Back still okay. Okay. Locked. This one is locked. So both this seat belt and the other one will need to be changed.
Seat belts are made in a specific way so they lock only once when the car gets into a crash. So you have to replace them in order to put the car back on the road. I am sure you can imagine they are expensive part to buy from the dealer. So before resorting to the dealer, you try local stores or scrap yards. And when you're desperate, you get on the black market looking for stolen parts. This is where it gets interesting. Those bad people on the black market, they maltreat their parts. See, once they have been removed from stolen cars, they basically simply throw them away in their yards, waiting for a customer. Meanwhile, those parts accumulate dirt, rust, and all kind of nasty stuff. And nobody is bothered cleaning them up. So anyway, that's the best explanation I was able to come up with after witnessing numerous recent cars with seatbelt in such a terrible state. Now, back to work. All windows and sunroof. Check if all windows are working properly. Open them up and close them down. Windshield wipers. Do not forget to check if any windshield wipers show any malfunction. Test drive. Finally, if you can, you must take it for a test drive. I would suggest to drive it in a city road until it heats up, then take it on a highway. Turn off the radio. I'm sure it will be on because usually the owner doesn't want you to listen to the car. So turn the radio off, ask the owner to be quiet, you just want to focus. Mileage. After going through the smart chart thoroughly, you really should begin to have an idea on the actual mileage of the car. So check it out at the very end of your investigation. If the shown number makes you uncomfortable, walk away or try and get the best deal as fairly possible. Meanwhile, while you're checking for mileage, check and see if any cluster lights are on. That would indicate needed maintenance. So, this was a BMW 323 2013 for sale at an auction. Thank you for watching and shop carefully.